if you are focusing solely on quick wins and short-term dopamine hits, this video is gonna serve you. And I'm so excited about it because we have a special guest today. Her name is Angela Perry, and we're gonna talk about something that is going to serve you on a higher level. But just before I want to, and related to the topic, I want to tell you about how when I was a kid, I remember going camping with my dad, and we would take about 30 minutes to put the tent together. And bye bye. If I'm making a mistake, just share with us. Tell me it took more than that. I don't know, but I think it was around 30 minutes to dress up the tent, put it up for camping, right? And I remember, enjoying the process and having it up, in a matter of a short amount of time, and being grateful, being grateful that it's up now. We can lay down and celebrate, right? But it would be so shortly lived, right? And I know that we never stayed at the same camping spot more than a week. But even most times were a night or 2 nights, right? It was very temporary. But when I went to help my dad at work, when he used to build how do you call that, big lug houses, like, it's like big the houses that are so pardon my language. It's houses that are built with big beams of wood, right? Log homes. When I used to go help him, I took part of the process. I helped him prepare the trees, the woods, in order for him to build a house. And it would take a long time. It would take a long time to build a house. And I know those houses, when finished, the reward were so deep, right? Because it would take so much effort. It would take much more time than just putting a tent up. But I know that at the end, when we saw the result of the finished house and the beauty of it, and also the use of it, like being able to, the people being living in those houses, being grateful to be able to have that beautiful place to live in for years, even decades, you know, that just thinking about the topic of today right now, and that particular moment in my life where when I helped him do that, I realized the difference between doing something that is going to be like very shortly lived, and then we have to, move on to the next spot, the next camping spot, right? As opposed to building something for the long term, building something that's going to last, that's going to take a little bit more effort, or much more effort, but and it's going to take more time as well. But you are going to cherish the reward when it's up, when it's built, right? And today I'm so thrilled because we were talking about, Angela was in a community, and she asked what result we got, what result I got from launching my YouTube channel, Wake Up Catalyst, a few weeks ago. And I told her, that right now I am not so focused on the data and the metrics. I look at them like that, but I'm not so focused or worried or anything like that. If I get no views, 2 views, 3 likes, or no comments, I'm not focused on that. And I told her that, right? And she told me about how well, I'm gonna let her explain, but she told me about the long game. She told me how it was really important to play the long game, and how she chose to do that for her own channels as well. And I was telling her that is exactly what I'm doing. I know that, things are not necessarily going to happen overnight. There's going to be short wins that are going to be as valuable and worth sharing, worth celebrating, but that's not going to be the only thing. And so, with no further ado, we need to introduce Angela. Angela is coming right now.
So let's talk about the long form game. Like YouTube, me and Sam was inside of our group and we were talking about the long game. So not necessarily the long form game, but the long game. If you want to show up as your authentic self and you want to provide a solution to the world, to your people, I'm very adamant about, are you serving the people in the season that you're supposed to be serving? I'm a hardcore Jesus believer, right? And so I think that we all have purpose. I think we have intentions. I think that if we dig deep enough, He's already given us the answers, right? And so when you show up and you serve the people that you're supposed to serve, wisdom comes with that. And I think we oftentimes forget that. And so for me, I have committed, I have a YouTube coach. One of the things that she told us, like from the get-go, right, was, where do you see yourself in a year from now? If you have not grown successfully, because she gives us like the blueprint and the data, right? If you have not grown successfully, will you shift? Will you keep going, or will you stop altogether? And so in that conversation, I remember telling her that I would not quit, that I would continue the long game, that I have committed to doing YouTube for 3 years. And on each, I have 2 main channels, and then I have another channel related to e-bikes. And one channel talks about, like a CEO, it's talking about business and being fundable. And that one is brand new season. The channel I've had for less than 6 months. That one is my baby. It's my journaling channel, and I combine, journaling and mindset. But are you showing up as a business owner authentically, right? And so I've consistently showed up. I'm doing the shorts. I'm recording. I'm batching. I'm holding the conversations. I'm responding. But I know that if I only get, 200 followers, in a couple months, I can look at the data and say, well, they like this video, they didn't like this video, they didn't like this, or they did like this, and I can tweak. But I know, long haul game, I am building 3 YouTube channels staggered for 3 years. Full commitment. Because I know that YouTube is one of the most searched sites. So why not play the game? Why not invest my time? We're talking about 3 years of my time into something that I expect a return out of, right? I expect to show up and serve my people and lead them to my school community and help them build better businesses and help them sleep at night because they journaled out their processes. Like, I expect to show up in that manner on a consistent basis so that I can help people solve their problems. Like what Sam is saying, like, what, for real, what is it that you could show up and be your authentic self in this season? What does that really, really look like for you? So, yeah, there we go. We in there. Commit. Make one decision today to commit to yourself. Journal it out. Write out what that looks like. If you were to say yes to yourself, you said yes to you, and it didn't matter how messy, what the middle looks like. You have an expectation of what a result looks like in a certain amount of time, and you are committing to the process. You're not committing to the answer, you're committing to the process, because the journey is where we get all our answers from. So I love y'all, and I see y'all later.
That was so good. I want to know, after hearing what Angela just mentioned right now, just shared with you, what do you get? What insight do you get? And what are you ready to apply as part of your own journey? I urge you to put yourself in the future a few years from now and say, what am I building, not just for tomorrow, like tomorrow, the actual tomorrow, or a week from now, or a month from now, but what am I building for the future that's gonna make me be grateful that I kept going throughout all that time, because I built something over the long term that is meaningful, and that sometimes you felt like you wanted to give up, but you didn't, because there was that vision that kept you going. And then how can you enjoy the process? It's not just about trusting the process and living for a future time, a future moment, but it's also about enjoying the process. So, what is it for you that you commit to do over the long term for a distant vision that is really meaningful, and how can you enjoy the process? Peace, my people.